You listen to Kendrick and Matt on the Slip and Dip podcast.
Oh, beautiful, man.
Woo! Slip and Dip podcast back in your life with a fresh introduction. Please tell us in the comments what you think. We'll let you know who all been in the house and who all represented on the Slip and Dip. Episode 106, Kendrick Johnson, Matthew Wells, fresh off the heels. And he was on the show 2 weeks ago. You saw him slide in the intros of the California Kid's successful return back to the octagon. Uriah Faber comes with a one-hitter quitter, getting the fastest knockout of his Hall of Fame career. Ponce Jermaine Durandamy, who topped him with the one-hitter quitter of her own to top Ronda Rousey for the fastest knockout in the women's bantamweight division. And on the boxing side, Shakur Stevenson.
Whoa. Pump the brakes, bro. How's it going, people? Let's get the intro finished before you just jump into all the cards, bro. Come on, man. No,
Who set it up?
You're running through the whole thing already.
On the boxing side, Shakur Stevenson doing Shakur Stevenson things, got a nice KO. It was an action-packed combat sports Saturday night. Had me put on my ESPN Plus, shifting back and forth.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was a pretty good weekend for combat sports. I mean, in parts, because the UFC card kind of dragged on a little bit. And it is what it is.
I saw what I wanted to see. I saw Juliana win a tough fight against Nico. I went to sleep and I literally woke up. California love. Okay. Watched Uriah do his thing. I watched Jermaine do her thing. I was good to go. And I chilled and watched Stevenson watch DVR with my wife and then watch Stevenson do his thing.
Best intro in combat sports, I think. At least in MMA.
I'm sounding like Anthony Smith.
Oh yeah, returning back. No, but it's not as legendary. Not as legendary. Not as legendary as California.
No, not as legendary.
And the California love. Yeah, man. So yeah, let's talk about it. UFC Sacramento. Let's talk about it. Actually, let's not talk about it. Let's talk about our guest on the show today. Part of the intro, I was trying to interject in there a second.
I was coming back. Yeah, it's coming back.
But anyways, episode 106. What we got is Corey Anderson on the show. He's fired up about one man you just mentioned,
Anthony Smith.
Yes.
When a UFC fighter hits you up in the middle of the morning and say they want to come on the show to throw smoke, we're going to give you the platform to throw that smoke. So y'all need to be listening.
100%. And we also have Mike Brown, ATT Coach of the Year.
Props to him. If I need to fight, whoop somebody's ass, him and Javier Mendez, I got them on speed. I got both their numbers. I'm calling one or the other. Hopefully both of them holler.
And then lastly but not least, we have one Jose Shorty Torres returning to the program.
Very insightful, very smart guy.
100%. Can't wait to see him back in action. He's with Brave FC now. He's a UFC vet. You got to show him the door because, who knows what they're doing with flyweights over at the UFC these days. Who knows? They're cutting people. They're signing people. They're double champing it. Who knows? Who knows what it is? But yeah.
Action-packed show with action-packed guests.
Yes, absolutely. Shout out to all the new subscribers on the YouTube page. We do appreciate you guys hitting that subscribe button. We're over at 1,000 now, so that means we can go live remotely. And you know what that means? That means this weekend, people, you can subscribe if you have not, but click that bell for notifications because we will be going live. Kendrick will be out with Pac Thurman. We'll talk about that in a minute. I will be out in UFC San Antonio. We'll talk about that in a few minutes as well.
Get you covered on 2 coasts and 2 sports.
Yes, we will be live in effect. Also, we are on Spotify now. So anybody out there watching or listening, if you prefer to listen to the show and you're a Spotify type of person, you can now get the podcast on Spotify. So go ahead and follow us there as well. Now, let's get into the action that we kind of teased already. Jermaine Durandamy, Aspen Ladd. Jermaine Durandamy is one of the best female fighters on the planet. Unfortunately, she does not fight very often because of injuries. And
she reminds me, she's the female version of Gary Russell.
I don't know. I mean, I guess. I don't know.
He fights once a year like Groundhog Day.
I guess. Yeah. I can see it. But so Aspen Ladd, Jermaine Durandamy, Jermaine Starcher, basically. Caught her with that clean right hand, reminded me it was a slick 1-2, kind of popped her, brought the guard down a little bit, whop, landed that right hand, dropped her, kind of a controversial stoppage, but what I say is there was more of that where it was coming from. She's one of the best strikers on the planet. Just look at her resume outside of the UFC. It speaks for itself. But yeah, the story here is Aspen Ladd and her weight cut because she was trembling on the stage. Absolutely trembling. I probably should pull that clip up for people that have not seen it. But she was absolutely trembling. She looked terrible. And that's not a thing that we need to have for any fighter. You should not be cutting that much weight to where you can barely stand on your own 2 feet.
But it keeps happening. So why people get all up in arms and they're not going to do nothing about it? If Dana's not concerned, why is everybody else concerned?
Because it's the health of these fighters, and who cares what Dana White thinks at the end of the day? Dana White's going to do what Dana White wants to do, and that doesn't mean we all shouldn't be concerned about these fighters' health and safety.
But you got to admit, though, these people are putting themselves in that position.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of things that you need
they
to keep
too can
fighters.
cut weight between fights.
There's a lot of things you need to do to get fighters out of their own way. And making sure that they don't cut too much weight is definitely one of them. For that, I'm trying to find this clip, people. But yeah, it's a serious problem, and I think this also had to do with the stoppage. So I will talk about that as I'm trying to find this clip.
It kind of reminds me of Joanna and Rose. Yeah,
and here it is. Let me get it pulled up here. Boom. Here it is. If you guys are not seeing this, playing on the YouTube channel, and she just looks terrible. And this is another thing. And as it plays, I'll talk about it. This probably, I would think, if I'm the referee, Herb Dean, I probably saw this clip and was like, I'm going to take extra precaution with her. Maybe. I'm not saying that's what Herb did, but I'm saying that's a possibility. And when she got dropped, maybe Herb was like, all right, considering how you looked on the scale just a day prior, I'm going to take extra precaution with you because you should not be doing this. This is terrible. She can barely stand up. This is terrible. Shout out to MMA Junkie for the video. Obviously, MMA Junkie is live and on effect everywhere. They were the ones that got captured that. But listen, man, you got to keep these fighters out of their own way in a lot of these situations. So again, this fight took place in California, where they are some of the best in terms of doing things with weight cutting, at least stateside. You know, everybody talks about one championship in their system, but one championship has a great system on paper, but there's no transparency around it. So, like, are you really doing what your paper says you're doing? That's the question there. All right, so let's move on. Jermaine Geronimo got it done. Again, California kid, Uriah Faber, getting it back in the action.
It's like Ricky Simone thought that he was actually 40 years old. Like, you're a regular 40-year-old. Because, like, nobody in their right mind would fight Uriah Faber at any point in his career the way he fought him. Basically, he thought he was a regular 40-year-old and wanted to find out what it was all about. And that one hit a quitter, let him know, you failed the test, bro. Like he said, there's levels to this. Like when Uriah said after the fight.
Yeah, it's a thing, man. I'm glad that Uriah went out there and got a win and did it without taking damage. I mean, he did get popped once, clean, and it kind of hurt him because you saw he started backing up, but then, you know, Ricky got a little overzealous and came in too quick and caught that right hand as well.
Well, it leads back to our theory that we go back and forth on. It doesn't matter when you beat somebody, because he got a cold L because he got popped by 40-year-old. 40-year-old just done him up. So why does he not get the same respect and credit if he do it to the 40-year-old? Goes back to my theory. Now this will go from off his couch, having a kid, to about to get a title shot. So don't tell me no more. It don't matter when you catch somebody. The sport is still young. Now, maybe 20, 15 years from now, you can't do that. At this infancy of the sport, it means a big deal. Because if they whoop your ass, you go down and they get a title shot straight off the couch. So, but it don't mean nothing, though. It don't mean nothing when you beat them. Yeah, dude, you need that name.
You agree with me. On this very podcast, you agree with me when I said Jared Cannonier's win over Anderson Silva doesn't mean as much as it did if he caught Anderson Silva 5 years ago. You agreed with me on that. So
we're talking about a GOAT.
You're proving my point. Thank you. We're gonna move on here. We're gonna move on.
How is that getting up for a title shot? He just came off his couch
because the
night.
bantamweight division is in a state of flux right now because of all these guys that have, you know, they got these drug test failures. They got guys coming off 2 TKO losses. You got guys that are injured, chronically injured, like Dominic Cruz.
So let's get the guy to come off his couch.
You got the UFC not wanting to give people title shots like Aljamain Sterling for some reason. You know, I'm just saying. The only reason Uriah Faber's in that talk is because he's Uriah Faber. He's got that name recognition. He definitely, you know, he looked great. Definitely doesn't want smoke with any of these other top contenders, though. I don't think. If you're Uriah Faber, I would avoid Marlon Moraes. I would definitely step in there against Henry Cejudo just to get that crack at the title if that opportunity is presented to you. But Aljo deserves that shot.
Why do people act like Marlon Moraes, like he's still a killer? We saw him get exposed.
He's still a killer. He got exposed by the double champ. What do you mean? He killed Ed. Literally,
I told you he was, but nobody was getting. I don't think Cejudo gave him. If it would him having those two bouts on his shoulder, I don't think Cejudo would get the credit that he deserves.
What is going on with UFC page?
People act like that was a fluke win.
No, it wasn't. But he was starching Henry Cejudo in that first round, but Henry made adjustments and then came back.
Part of the fight.
It is part of the fight. It's a huge part of the fight. Let's see. Other fights that made sense. There wasn't a lot of excitement on this card. Josh Emmett looked amazing. Great first round finish on Mirsad Bektic.
It just seems like he's past his prime. Well, I mean, like, he'll never be a top guy. Like, he's a good gatekeeper. Josh Emmett. He'd be a good gatekeeper for the division.
Disagree. He's a solid fighter, and he's getting better. He's still on his way up in his career, in my opinion.
Yeah, late bloomer.
Yeah, not too much else to talk about on this card, man.
Pop's our girl Juliana that came on the show a couple times.
Andre Feely had a great fight as well.
Great fight.
Great knockout.
Yeah, Juliana Pena and Nico Montano was more entertaining than I thought it was. We saw how both of these ladies at 135 could be a problem for that division if they can pose their style. But they mostly posed their style on each other last night. And you saw how in match it was a lot more entertaining than what I thought. Props to Nico. She looked way better than I thought. Even I think Juliana wears out 30-27 had she not come out off a pregnancy. But Nico showed me she needs to stay 135.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think we saw a lot of ring rust from both of these ladies because they both been on for a while. So,
but they put on a good show, way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought it was going to be one-sided one way or another, and I was gladly mistaken. They put on a nice show, and that's one of the fights I watched. I'm not trying to waste my stuff with nonsense.
Ryan Hall. This is the only other fight I want to talk about is Ryan Hall. Ryan Hall is one of the most exciting fighters in the UFC. Why? Because he looks like he doesn't give a shit about what's happening. No. But as soon as you step in, he's just going to grab a leg out of nowhere on you. And it's amazing. Because then if he doesn't get it, he's just going to pop right back up, keep that same stoic look. And then he's going to pop you in the face with a spinning heel kick. He's like, if you're not excited, like if you're not entertained by this dude, I don't know what to tell you, man. He is fun to watch. And to do that against a tough guy like Darren Elkins is another thing too. So good fight for him.
Switch gears to the boxing side of things.
Yes.
One Shakur Stevenson, Olympic competitor. I know he's not a gold medalist, but Olympic competitor Shakur Stevenson, featherweight star. Starched this man as my man. Let me say the word of the day. Starched Alberto Cueva in with a third round TKO. He showed a lot more pop to his punches. He was clearly in control of the fight, never in danger. Top rank. He give this man some more competition. He's calling off all the champs, but with politics, it's going to be hard for him to get somebody legitimately in there. So he's somebody that's supremely talented, but we really don't know if he's that guy yet, which is not his fault. You're going to fight who's in front of you.
Yeah, this is the thing I love and hate about boxing is that there are fights that are not, not every fight's going to be a championship contender type of fight, but I love and hate that they have these quote-unquote tune-up fights in boxing. And not saying that this was a tune-up fight, but it felt like one. You know what I mean? It's one of the things it's a love-hate thing in boxing, man, because sometimes you're tuning in for a squash match, and that's what this was. It turned out to be just that. But props to him to get it done. I mean, you still got to go in there and win, of course. So props to him for getting it done.
And next week should get real in the boxing scene. Our man Teofimo Lopez will be fighting Friday night in Washington, D.C. Look for him. I think he's fighting for his first title. We're looking forward, working behind the scenes to try to get him on next Sunday. Mm-hmm. Also, your boy will be on the scene. Finally, Pacquiao Thurman goes down. MGM Grand, July 21st. I got one time by decision. I think we're going to see the best Keith Thurman we've seen in about 3 or 4 years. He's highly motivated. He knows he needs his name on his legacy. So somebody like Matt can say how Pacquiao was 40. But if he do lose, they want to keep that same energy when he do win. But we're going to talk about that though.
Yeah. July 20th is the date,
sir.
July 20th. Yes, I agree. I think Pac is going to disappoint a lot of Pacquiao fans, unfortunately. Keith Thurman, 29-0, man. I think he's going to be the guy to just go out there and get it done. You seen the meme? I wish I had the meme pulled it up, where he's just pointing at him at the press conference. I'm about to destroy this whole man's career. You know, I don't know. I think that's what's going to happen. I could be wrong because Pacquiao shocks a lot of people at times too.
But
so,
like he told us on this very podcast, he trained it. He got a nutritionist. He didn't train at LA Fitness for this fight.
right? Yeah, he's taking it serious. And of course, when you're fighting a guy like Manny Pacquiao, you better, because you know Manny's going to smack them gloves together and come forward. So
he's coming to fight. The Pac-Man's coming to fight.
Yes,
but I think we're gonna see how old he really is, though.
Yes, 100%. And while Kendrick will be out there, I will be in San Antonio for Dos Anjos and Leon Edwards. Welterweight showdown right there. It's a pretty decent card. Friends of the show, Walt Harris on the card, Greg Hardy, Juan Adams, James Vick. Yeah, a lot of names we've had on the show before.
Ain't that girl Raquel gonna be on there?
Yes.
Hey, Rocky on the prelims?
They got her on the prelims, which is kind of crazy, against
Shout out to Rocky. Very nice lady.
Alex Caceres against Stephen Ocho Peterson, Fortis MMA product right there. Sam Alvey. Some good names going through. Roxanne Modafari, Ray Borg. It's a decent card. It's one of those hardcore type of fan cards, but should be some good scraps. Man. And of course, that main event is going to have not title implications, but it will definitely put him in that short list. Because welterweight is on fire right now. So that's what we're looking at there. So yeah, that's where we'll be. I will be in San Antonio. Kendrick will be in, where's that fight? In Vegas?
Vegas at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. I've been throwback from. I haven't watched a fight in Grand Garden Arena since Mayweather Berto.
Yeah, MGM Grand, man. That's a special atmosphere for fights.
I saw Mayweather Pacquiao there.
Special atmosphere for fights. One other thing we did this past weekend, just yesterday actually, we were out at SportsCon here in Dallas, and we caught up with this man, one Sean Porter, WBC welterweight champ, was in the house. A lot of football players, a lot of athletes running around the sports convention, SportsCon, and go to our page and watch this little interview that we're kind of teasing for you here on the show. Sean kind of gave us some insight on when we can expect that announcement against the Truth.
Saturday during the Pacquiao.
Don't give up the video, bro. They got to click the video and find out. No more. Don't give up the goods. Come on now. Yeah. But yeah, Sean's cool people. He will be fighting a very tough opponent, one Errol Spence, with dates soon to be announced. Episode 106, guys. Coming at you. These interviews are very entertaining. Corey Anderson, Mike Brown, Jose Shorty Torres.
Corey spitting that fire.
Before we get out of here, hit that subscribe button, tick that bell for notifications. Got a lot of good stuff coming this week. Share it around all of your favorite spots, your social media spots as well. And that's about it. And one other thing. You see that Venmo logo up there. You see that Cash App logo up there. Hit us up on those apps. Links are in the description below the YouTube video. So please show some love there to help grow the show and help us keep it moving. So anything else before we get to these interviews?
Hey, be looking out for some fresh content all week long.
Yeah.
I got you covered on the West Coast, man. Got you covered here out in good old San Antonio. MMA, boxing, combining.
Remember the Alamo. I'll be down there. So yeah, check it out, people. Episode 106 coming at you. Enjoy the rest of the show till next week. Actually, till later in the week when you see us on the scene. Peace.
Please welcome back to the Slip and Dead Podcast. Returning to the show. We haven't seen him in the cage this year, but his name is hot in the streets. Mr. Corey Overtime Anderson.
What up, fellas? Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah.
How does it feel? The fact you expanding your family, you being a family man, and your name popping up left and right. I'm sitting there getting woke up this morning by this Anthony Smith interview. He basically saying he cleaned up your mess because you ain't there to fight in the cage. What's your take on that? He had some hot takes that wasn't so nice.
Yeah, more like because I had a kid coming and family shit, he got to fight. But they all want to talk shit. First, I want to say he was talking about the one thing that when I started reading. He said they offered me him, which never happened. and I was chicken or not ready or some shit. And then they offered me to fight Shogun, and I said no, which is because I've been asking to get a rematch with Shogun since we fought in Curitiba, and they screwed me. And they offered Shogun that fight probably 3 times, and he keeps saying he doesn't want a rematch. And then he said, but I stepped in to fight Glover Teixeira because I felt 100% confident that I could win. Now, if you take this, so you got Anthony Smith, an unranked guy. You got Shogun, who was ranked 8th, but I took the fight against the number 3 guy. The number 3 guy has only lost to John Jones and Gustafson because I'm scared. That makes sense to y'all? Come on, Smith. They never offered me none of the fights. I put my name in the hat for Shogun and Glover before it was announced that their opponents were hurt. But it fell that way that he ended up getting Shogun and Glover got hurt right after. So
what do you think?
It's just a lot.
What do you think of the facts? 2 facts. One, he basically called you a point fighter because your wrestling style, saying basically you can't hurt him. And then 2, one thing, like when he fought John, that people were talking about, the dude's lost 14 times. Like, where's his swag coming from?
I have no clue. But even it doesn't matter if I beat you a points, knockout, whatever it is, I beat you. That's all it is. At the end of the day, if you think about a guy that can go out there and manhandle you for 3 rounds over a guy that can catch you with 1 punch, I feel like I would rather get put out because I can say, okay, he only caught me. If I go in there next time and keep my hands up and move, that ain't going to happen. But if you go against a guy who goes in there and beats the shit out of you for 3 rounds, he out-punches you, he out-kicks you, he takes you down, he ground and pounds you, and you can't get up, it's kind of like, what can I do to this dude? I can't say the next time, I can hit him harder, or next time I can take him down, because I just proved for 3 rounds straight, 15 minutes, that you can't hold water with me. And, that's my thing. I thought about it today when I got off the plane. My fighting style was always like my wrestling style. I had opportunities in college where I could have pinned people, but I would let them up just to keep taking them down and turn them. Let them up, take them down, and turn them, just to let people know I do what I want with you. Like you scared of me. After the second round, you don't want no more to do with me, so you're just going to let me pretty much rape me. I can do what I want. You know what I mean? I'm going to force this upon you. Everything that's going to happen is going to happen how I want it to. And the same way with fighting. I don't win. I have maybe 1 fight that I won that was close. The rest was like completely dominant. There was all 29-28 or 30-28, 10-8 rounds or some shit like that. It's never been a split decision. They're all unanimous decisions because I go out there and I dominate. Yeah, I don't go out there looking to finish. I mean, yes, I want to finish, but you got guys that go out there literally searching for the finish and they gas themselves out. They put themselves in danger. They get caught in submission. They get hit. They get put out because they gas or whatever it is. And I'm not that type of person. I go out there smart. I'm thinking about it can go 15 rounds. It can go 15 seconds. But I'm ready for forever. I ain't going to go out here and blow my load searching for a finish. I actually almost did that against Pat Cummins because I actually had anger towards Pat going into that fight. And I went out there and was throwing just bolos for that first 2 minutes. Everything I threw was hard. And I remember hitting him, rocked him, and he recovered. And I was hitting him with elbows on the cage. And I just looked back at my coach like, I'm just going to pull back. Because if I gas out, that's usually how he wins. He let guys beat him up. They gas out, and he come back. And I toned it down. But I remember going to that 3rd round. I told Coach, Coach, it's the first time in my career I can say I'm tired. Like, what do you mean, I'm tired? I threw too many hard punches in that 1st round. I'm tired. I got to recover here. I got to recover hard in the first minute, 3rd round, and then go hard at the end. That's exactly what we did.
And before I let Matt ask a quick question, would you like to see him on a main event of not necessarily a pay-per-view, because that's what the money is, of course, so you wouldn't see that, but if y'all had a house show or something like that, and y'all had a main event so it could go 5 rounds, these days it's definitely a 5-round fight, regardless of whenever you see him?
5 rounds of anybody against me is a bad day. Anybody know that, matter of fact, they offered to fight to Dominic Reyes in South Carolina. And he only wanted to fight me if it was the main event. And all my coaches were like, why in the hell would he want to fight you 5 rounds? Your best chance of beating me is catching me within 3 rounds. Because once you get tired and you start slowing down, as everybody knows, I don't slow down. Even if I'm tired, I will not slow down. And I can go for 25 minutes. So your best chance is to finish me in 3 rounds. But if we go 5 rounds, I'm just going to drag you into deep waters, sink or swim, guppy, and I'm a hungry shark ready to eat.
Yeah, man, that's the way you gotta be though. So it's like, with this long layoff, man, I know we've seen you pop up, doing the Rogans of the world, doing all that kind of stuff, man. So, like, it seems like you've just been enjoying life outside the cage, right?
I mean, I always enjoy life outside the cage. When I get that call or get that contract signed, it's time to go. We hit a switch. Everything changed. But I'm never living my life dictating, focused on, just fighting. I used to. And it was kind of like when I would lose, it was hard on me because my whole life was dedicated on that. I'm still super dedicated to it. But like I said, last year, 2018, the difference was I had balance. I got my lady, I got my kid now, I got the hunting shit. So I'm always doing something. That's why they call me overtime. 25-8, I'm confident. Like today, I got off the plane. I text Kenneth once I landed. I got home. I haven't slept. I came from California last night, got here, cut my grass, went and did hunting shit, been with the family all day, and I've been up for 2 days. I mean, I just don't stop. I was sitting here getting stuff done on the computer, as you guys call. I mean, time is always time to get things done. So, I'm living life. I'm living life to the fullest, taking advantage of everything I can. If I get the chance to travel, I get the chance to hunt, do stuff like that until I get a fight. When I get in camp, everything buckles down. But I'm always training. I'm still getting 2 workouts a day every day except for Sunday. So in between the kid and my wife going back to work, when she come home, it's her turn. I run and do all my shit. I go to the gym. I go from the gym to the woods to finish some shit for hunting or whatever. I go back to another gym. And I come home and do my editing for my little YouTube channel. I'm just nonstop. Things got to be done.
Yeah, 100%. Like with the hunting stuff, is there like any sponsors or things like that that's come out from that yet?
I get a lot of sponsors just for equipment and whatnot. I don't really ask for money because I know how, like in fighting, when we ask for money is because my name is worth something. You put your name on Corey Anderson, I'm a big fighter. I'm a top 10 fighter. I'm ranked, blah, 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 what it is. In the hunting world, I don't have any following yet, I've been hunting my whole life, but in the hunting world, I'm not really known. So I'm using the networks I build with these different companies and people I've met through like Joe Rogan and different podcasts I've done and hunts I've done. And I meet the people and meet the different companies and the owners. They're like, oh, we hook you up with this, this, and this. Like, all right, cool. I appreciate that. And I post on my Instagram and I advertise them on my YouTube channel. And that's all it is. I don't want any money from anybody yet because, like I said, I don't know enough in this hunting world where I can say, oh, yeah, you pay me this because you're paying me for this. Well, the reason why you're paying me is for your name to get out there, blah, blah, blah. And I don't have that following yet, so I can't be charging people.
Yeah, 100%. So, like, back with one of the things we've seen, like, I guess in the past couple of days, since considering like Uriah Faber came back, right? And Uriah Faber's got like this big name, and now like people are talking about him like just jumping the line for the title shot, right? That's something like you can kind of relate to because it's like all the time, like it just seems like nobody's putting you in this title picture, despite no matter how many wins you get, the 3-fight win streak. It just seems like you keep getting overlooked, and like Aljamain Sterling's kind of finding himself in that same position right now. So it's like, how do you guys overcome that and like make sure like, hey, it's my turn? Like, nah, like screw what y'all talking about. Like, how do y'all overcome that?
You really can't overcome it because it ain't like we can change it. At the end of the day, Dana White didn't make the decision. We just look, we numbers. That's it. We're employees. We just human cockfighting. We're numbered chicken waiting in a cage, like waiting to pull us out and line us up with another cock. We're gonna fight. And that's it. You can voice your opinion. You put your stats, everything out there. It's kind of like, I still don't understand how they say Smith, Reyes, all these people got better accolades than me when I'm the only one who beat 2 top 5 guys in the light heavyweight division. I'm the only one that went undefeated last year against all top 10 guys. Anthony Smith beat Rashad. No offense to Rashad, that's my boy. That's my brother. We trained together. He come on and help me, and we talk. But Rashad was on how many losses that he had? Yeah, what was that?
4 or 5?
Yeah.
It was a lot, since he lost to Bader when he came back from his ACL, back in like 2015. That was his first loss coming back, and he hadn't won since then. Shogun, he beat me on that screwed up decision, and he had one other win. But it's like, when was he in title contention? He was ranked, 8 or something like that? That was the highest he's been in the last 4 or 5 years. And I go and beat Pat Cummins, who was ranked 9 or 10, and I beat the number 3, which I should have got a title fight after that because Gus had just fought number 4, and they still, the point of me and Alir fighting was supposed to be for number 1 contender. That's what they told us when we signed the contract. All right. And all of a sudden I do that, and all of a sudden it changed again. It's like, oh, now you got to fight such and such. Then they wanted me to fight Gustafson on my wife the day my baby was born. And then they wanted me to fight him again. Like, look, I'm not booking no fights until my baby is born. Let my baby come, make sure everything is healthy. I ain't got no extra hospital bills. I ain't got no medical emergencies, family emergencies. And then we can talk. They literally called me the day we went to the hospital. We in the hospital. I told my manager, I will call y'all back when the baby come out and the doctor tell me everything is healthy. Literally, the baby came out at 11:56, 8 something in the morning next day. I texted Dana, tweeted Gus, and everybody was on board. Then Dana texted me back like, oh, we're going to give the fight to Smith now. Like, you just called me less than 12 hours ago about the fight when my wife was in labor. I said, I'll call you back when it's over. The doctor said it was clear. I wanted to fight, and all of a sudden they changed it. And now ever since then, they're trying to make it seem like I'm ducking. I guess one of the things somebody said to my manager or whatever, I guess, was he want easier fight. We'll give him Khalil Roundtree. Like, I don't want an easier fight. You know, I earned a top 5 guy. I earned a title shot. I earned somebody title contentions. Now they keep calling me about Johnny Walker, and the media talking about Johnny Walker, and everybody talking about Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker been in the UFC a hot second. Yeah, he's exciting, this and this and this. But if I beat Johnny Walker, who's ranked 12, where do I go?
Yeah, I mean, that's a big risk for you, right? Because it's like the numbers aren't there, like in terms of rankings.
It doesn't do anything. But if I beat him, they're like, oh, you beat number 12, it don't do anything. But if he beat me, they're like, oh, you beat Corey Anderson, you should get a title next, you know? It's kind of like it's a lose-lose. Because if I beat him, yeah, it's a win, but I go nowhere. And then these other guys that come in, they still going to push him up. They got Lil Latifi fighting Volkan right now, who's ranked in front of me. I guarantee you, if he beat him August 2nd, they're going to push him in front of me in the rankings again. Like, how does that happen when I just dominated that dude? Start to finish. Like, but that's just politics of the game. But like you said, how do we overcome it? You just got to keep grinding, man. Like I said, if we get to a point where they never gonna give me the shot, I'd rather tell them just let me go. You know what I mean? I ain't here to be nobody's no guinea pig. I ain't here to just clean out your division and never get my shot. I want to be a champ. You know what I mean? But if it gets to a point where they tell me you'll never fight for the belt, you don't have the accolades, or you did this, you did that, then you know it'd be that time. I want to finish in the UFC, but if that's what they telling me, then they're like, all right, peace.
Do you think the best thing to do is if I have you and Lionheart fight and the winner gets a shot at John? And did you see these slippage with John with his last performance?
I mean, I've seen slippage with John in like his last 4 performances. You know, ever since he came back and fought OSP, I've been seeing the different slippage.
Hold on. You said since he came back. See, I told my guys this last week. Since he came back from all the drama and the legal issues, we slowly but surely been seeing some slippage each fight. He didn't want to listen to me last week.
100%. 100%. He's mortal, blah, blah, blah. He's definitely mortal. You can see it. It ain't the same. You know, and I know people that was in wrestling, college wrestlers, it's just they wrestle phenomenal when they was on drugs. Like, they come to practice or they come to the meet high or they pop in a pill or whatever, but they wrestle because their mind is relaxed. They open up. That's like weed and stuff do. It sets you free, right? And that's they go out on the mat and they free in their mind. So they do wild stuff. And that's what John used to do, I believe. When he was on the drugs and shit, he was free. You know, he didn't have to worry about it. He didn't care. He just let loose and did wild stuff. You don't see that anymore. Now he's like real scared to take risks, scared to get hit, running away. 1 shot, 2 shot. He ain't throwing combos. He ain't doing the elbow shit. The same shit he used to kicks. He does none of that anymore. So it's kind of like, I mean, I knew I could beat him when he was doing the fancy stuff, but now it's like, oh yeah, give me that. Feed me, please.
I mean,
I keep telling him he's still right now the top of the game, but he's there to get got. I don't know if somebody's getting. He's there to get got though.
100%. He's definitely can never take away what he did.
No,
you can't take away. He's still probably one of the greatest. But you can say it is not the same as he was. You go back and watch his old films compared to now, and you're gonna be like, this ain't the same guy, and it's not.
I think the
things happen. Life, thank you, man.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you get older, you're going to start slipping a little bit. But my thing is, every opponent that he's fought that has made him look mortal puts pressure on him. And that most fights where he dominates, which he dominates most of his fights, obviously, you know.
He made people like spar partner, like your boy Lionheart. He made him like a spar partner.
That's my thing I always go to. John turns everybody, he turns everybody into the B-side sparring partner. Like, all right, John, get your shit off. While I just stand here, you know. So it's like
pretty much
whoever doesn't do that. Thiago Santos wasn't doing that. He was.
He refused to become a sparring partner. Bops to him with his one knee.
But even when Thiago was running away in the cage, it was kind of like John just usually when guys backing up like that, John closing distance with those elbows in the front. He didn't do any of that. He just he didn't even cut the angle off. He just kept following him instead of cutting him off and beat him to the point. It was just, I don't know.
Corey, I can watch fights with you. You said the same thing I saw because he basically should have done the same thing that Amanda Nunes did on Holly, but he didn't do that. It's like you expected him to do. At least I was expecting to do it. I saw him do it once or twice, and then he was circling and making him go left. He would never let him get set on the right and make him go left. It was like, what's just going to cut off the cage? You did the hard part already. You dictate the terms, and he never would do it.
Yeah, and it ain't like he can't strike from southpaw. He does both stances, so he could have easily switched his feet and let off. But it was just kind of like, I don't know. Like I said, he's more timid now. He's scared to get hit or get caught. When before he was kind of like fearless. Like I said, that could have been because of drugs. It could have been before all the drama in his life, and he just thought he was untouchable. Things happen and change you in life. You know, you go through drama, you go through stages, and you realize you're not untouchable. You know, or some God sending you through lessons that make you rethink things, and maybe he started thinking that in sparring, or maybe he got dropped in sparring. We never know what happened in the gym. He could have been knocked out, anything, and something happened when you get timid. You know, things change.
Yeah, 100%. One thing, though, that I guess is kind of good for everybody in the division is that he wants to be so active right now. Because it's like...
trying to recoup that money.
Well, not only that, but it's like, you know, since you, like we were saying a minute ago, like you've been looked over for these title shots, but hey, if he keeps wanting to get into the ring every 3 months, like you may not have to fight again. You could just be like, I'm here, I'm on a 3-fight win streak. My turn.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I was at, but at this point, it looked like they're just going to keep pushing me down if I don't fight. But like I keep saying, I ain't just going to fight anybody. It's going to be a fight to get me to a title. If it ain't that, I'm sitting. You know what I mean? That's what it is. And I'm okay with it. My money's saved. Like I always I tell everybody, you save money for a rainy day. Well, right now, it's been a rainy year. It's been 6 months, and I'm still sitting. But it's okay because we ain't hurt. We ain't struggling. And that's the one point you don't want to get to as a fighter. When you get to the point when you're struggling and you fighting for money, you start taking fights for the wrong reasons, and you going out there, you fighting with emotions, and you do dumb shit because you're eager to get paid or whatever it is. And it's kind of like again, you're not going anywhere. You go out there with anger or aggression and you get caught, and you put yourself out of your game. And I will never let myself get there. I will get a job before that happens.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. It's just kind of crazy, man. Like the schedule has been more than we've ever seen. Like some of these fight cards are watered down. Like last night was kind of a drag for a little bit there. You know, I don't know how much of these fight cards you watch week in and week out, but
everyone.
What's that?
I watch everyone.
Everyone? Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah, I mean, some of them kind of drag on, you know, because it's some of these fighters. It's like last night. It's like I didn't know half the card. I mean, I covered the sport, you know.
I was cornered. I knew nobody on it but my boy. Like who even owned this card? I have no clue.
Right.
It was like you said. They just throwing so many cards. They got so many people. They have to fight now. Got to fight every weekend. We got so many people on the roster. And like you said, hey, we hope John does stay active with all these cards being put out there. He's got plenty of opportunities. If he voices his opinion and say, I want to fight here, I'm sure they're going to put him on it because he sells tickets. But again, I just don't see him trying to fight me even in all that time. I don't know if you guys pay attention to his page. I'm sure you do or not, whatnot. But he was like, oh, who you guys think I should fight? And I've seen him respond to every name out there but mine. I probably seen my name pop up on his page probably 200 to 300 times. And every time he skip my name and go to the next one. And he probably went through everybody in the top 10 but my name. And it's kind of like, come on, bro. What's that about? You just going to keep looking over like that? Or
Well, why don't you get like how Juan Adams? I know they're a heavyweight. He's been calling out Greg Hardy for like the last year. They fight next weekend. Why don't you go on the John Jones title crusade? It's gonna pick up some steam sooner or later. We give you the form right now.
I already called everybody. I didn't call them all. In the top 5. I didn't tag. What was it? Before his last fight, but before they announced he was fighting Thiago, I was like, I want Jones, but if I don't get Jones, I'll take Gus, I'll take Thiago, I'll take Smith, I'll take Young. I tagged every single one of them for about a week straight, and nobody responded. I got on the interviews and said the same thing I said right now. I take smoke with anybody in the top 5, but I won't smoke in the top 3. But I definitely want the belt. So Jones, if you watching, if you see this, you know who it is. You said it after Little Tiffy. You asked me if I wanted that smoke. I told you I wanted all the smoke, all of it, the crack smoke, the weed smoke, whatever you smoke, you put it in my face because I'm here. All of it in every single bit. I'm not hiding. I'm right here. Top 5 and up. Y'all want me? You know my name. Like the Candy Man. You say it 3 times, I'm going to pop up, sign the contract. Let's get it.
You got a message for Anthony Lionheart Smith.
Smith know where it is. All that shit he talking. You want this, Smith? I'm right here. Let's get it. Ain't nothing but a thing, baby. You say my name. Call your boy Dana. Tell him give you the paper. Let's do it. You come back December, whenever it is. Jones on the fight in December. Let's fight on that card. We beat Coleman, whatever it is. Coming up right behind him. Winner fight him. Whenever you want it, how you want it, where you want it, I'm going to give it to you. Real smooth. Like soft serve ice cream.
I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, hopefully we get some of these matchups made soon, man, because it seems like light heavyweight division been picking up a lot of steam, a lot of opportunities out there, man. You're definitely one of the guys I want to see back in action soon, man. It's been
congrats on the little man.
Yeah, congrats on the little one building that family time. In the meantime,
thank you. It's crazy. Every time I go to the fights, like I said, I watch the fights, and I've been to 4 or 5 of the fights this year. And yesterday I was in the back. And I was in the back of Chicago, and every UFC shirt person like, yo, man, we missing you in the cage. We you in the cage again? I hit him with the little emoji. Bro, I'm out here chilling, living my best life right now. I mean, I ain't crying over spilled milk, but if they call me for the fight, a worth it fight, I'm in it. They keep calling me on this BS. Swerve with it. I'm chilling.
Is it like in a place where it's like, okay, I'm waiting on that call, but y'all better give me a full camp too? Like, don't call me on the short notice type thing?
I know if an opportunity comes for short notice, somebody get hurt or whatever, I definitely feel in, but in my situation now, I need a full camp. If it's like I can't do a 5-week fight camp, whatever, with the baby. But if it's like the week of or some shit, somebody get hurt, I can handle that baby for a week, I'm going to be gone. But if it's a 4 or 5 weeks, I need time because we got to have somebody watching the kid because I got to get back into the gym. She's at work now. I got to get one of our parents out here, get them on a schedule. I can't just up and jump into a little 5-week fight camp. I mean, I'm in shape, but it ain't about me no more. I got a family now, and I've voiced that to them before. I think that's another thing too. That's one of the things that pisses me off the most is how they trying to punish me for being a family man. Like, really, y'all mad because I didn't want to take a fight while I was having a baby come? I didn't know what the deal was. Y'all gonna punish me for that? That's how y'all feel? It's like, but I don't know if it's been voiced to them that's what it was. I try to tell them myself. I don't know if they get my messages, if they read my shit. I told Ali to tell them, but I hope to see Mick next week in Houston and be able to clear the air on that. But I hope if that's the reason, if I find out that's why, like, oh, you judged that fight for your baby, then it's gonna be like, I'm really mad. Like, you gonna try to put my baby in it, say my baby's the problem? That's gonna come before anything. That's family. Believe that. I'm gonna make sure my family eat first before I do. So.
Yeah. But before we let you go, are you gonna be in Houston? San Antonio for the fights?
Yeah.
All right, holla my man. See, we gonna be double dipping. He gonna be in San Antonio to see your boy. Gonna be in Vegas at the Pacquiao Thurman fight. We give you both ends up on here.
Okay, but yeah, I'm coming out there to do a hunt with the veterans I work with. They live in San Antonio, and then we're gonna go from the woods Saturday, change up. Then we're gonna go to the fights, and then after, probably go kick it with the fighters at the hotel or whatever.
Okay. So, it's gonna be a lot of work, my man. My co-host gonna be putting in some work next week.
What's that?
You gonna have the mic there, or you just there watching?
No, come on. No, I'll be back there. I'll be back there doing work, bouncing around, getting interviews, all that stuff. I'll be at the hotel, everything chilling. So,
all right,
we'll catch up with you.
Yeah, I'll hit you up before. I'll be in Vegas. The only time I'm gonna be there. I'll be on the West Coast. I'll be Thurman and Pacquiao.
I'm done with the West Coast. I'm tired. I was on the West Coast less than 24 hours, and it wore me out. It was hot. hot. It's going to be hot as shit in Texas, too. Fuck. It's hot everywhere right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for the hot takes, Corey Overtime Anderson, thanks for coming on, brother. We definitely will be in touch. Have some more hot takes with my man. See you out in San Antonio, because I'm pretty sure people are going to be talking about this video come tomorrow morning.
Let's get it. Make it go viral.
That's the plan, man. Appreciate the time, brother.
Yeah, no problem, fellas. You have a good one.
Please welcome to the Slip and Dip podcast, making his Slip and Dip debut. He's the reigning Trainer of the Year, head trainer of ATT, trainer of the Stars, Amanda Nunes, the GWOAT, greatest woman of all time, Jorge Masvidal, fastest knockout in UFC history, and a whole list of others. Mr. Mike Brown, appreciate you coming on, and congrats on getting the Trainer of the Year.
Thanks, man. Yeah, the team's killing it right now, man. All the fighters are on point, peaking, and everybody's entering their prime, man. It's a good time to be at ATT.
How does it feel to have a hand in all this greatness? Like Amanda's like, what does she go from now? Like, she literally's cleaned out the whole, not even just the division, the whole legacy wall, which is unheard of in any sport.
No, she's a 100% monster, right? And her confidence is growing. She's the best, right? Her resume speaks for itself. Actually, Conan Silveira is her head trainer at American Top Team. He's the actual head coach at ATT, and but she's pulling away from the pack, right? Like, she's been the number one fighter for a while, maybe pound for pound best female for a while, but pulling away from the pack now, right? She's beaten every champion that is and every champion that was. So it's
and knocking them out. So for Valentina,
impressive, very, very impressive, of course, right?
Yeah. And of course, what got you in the mainstream, Mr. Masvidal. Like me and my guy here, we're both impressed. You can't be an MMA fan and not be impressed. But give us some insight to the work that Jorge puts in, because people look like he just pulled that out of his ass. Like, that's what he does. Is that accurate? No,
this guy's got, I think, he trains really hard. I think he really, I think he's got more weapons than anybody, man. This guy, he drills and drills and drills, and different techniques, and there's different parts of his times of his life where he's really found love for different combat martial arts or combat sports. Like, there was a time where he was heavy into boxing, heavy into Muay Thai, heavy into Taekwondo, heavy into wrestling. And he's got so many different techniques he can pull from, so many different weapons, more than anybody I know, honestly. He's going to be actually a really good coach because he has so much knowledge, but he's so dangerous because you don't know what he's coming with. You know, he has so many attacks, and he's got a real natural feeling for striking. And man, you saw how it went down, man. I posted that video the next day after of him practicing that, just 48 hours before the knee. I had a good feeling that this is going to work, man. I'm like, this, and when it does, this is going to be something special because it's going to be really fast. And he hyped it up. He talked a lot, so I knew it was going to be big.
Yeah. the hands behind the back is what tripped me out. I'm like, what does this do? I knew something was going to go down. I couldn't say I didn't do the knee. I knew something's going down. Like, man, sitting against the cage and his hand behind his back. What is he going to do? And he shocked the world.
When you saw him take off across the cage, were you like, this is happening? Like,
here you go.
Did you kind of have like deja vu go down? Like,
I mean, it was so quick, you know. It was like we knew what he was going to do, or I had a good feeling, and then just when I see Ben was like, you know, when it all happened so fast, but I was like, damn, like that, man, they stopped. and it was the buildup, you know, because when he talks so much, there was a lot of trash talk between the two of them, and that makes it so much bigger. You know, the building, the putting the pressure on yourself. So it's a little more scary because you have to deliver, but when you do deliver, it's something special.
Super necessary.
Yeah, super necessary. And he's so good on the mic, man.
He can go WWE tomorrow.
I can't believe they didn't give this guy the mic a long time ago, right? He's so good. He's so real. He's so, he was literally, fighting bare knuckle on the streets of Miami since he's a teenager. You know, this is as real as they come. A really bad dude who can fight his ass off and is constantly evolving in the game. I mean, he's going to be a great coach. I say it all the time, man. this guy's like a fighting genius, special guy.
Yeah, 100%. It's kind of crazy because like he's a guy that's been competing obviously like since you were competing, and it's like you guys are both like really high level, so it's like obviously it's like you got the mind of the guy that's been in there, done it before, made a crazy transition to be a successful coach like yourself. It's kind of wild to see you guys still doing it, like pulling from each other. I guess you guys are obviously still learning from each other at the same time, right?
100%, man. I'm learning from him. He's learning from me. I think that I'm a much stronger grappler than I am a striker. So, I help him more on that end, like takedown defense, ground control, stuff like this. But I think that helps him with his confidence to let loose some of his striking ability and techniques. And I've learned a lot of striking from him. Like it's always an exchange of knowledge, man. We're all martial artists, and we're all growing, and we're just sharing stuff with one another. Actually, all these pro fighters at ATT could probably be head coaches at some gym somewhere. They're just too busy right now competing. So, but we're all learning, man. We're all getting better, and it's a big pool of knowledge, man. There's people from all over the world with different ideas. It's pretty cool.
And that leads us to our next person. She's on the other end of the spectrum. She has a ton of potential, and she just scratched the surface. Miss Kayla Harrison, who at that body locking advanced into the IFL playoffs. PFL.
Yes, super special girl, right? Like, I don't know what's going on with her, but man, she's special, man. So freaky strong, crazy work ethic. So as focused as an athlete can be. There's no wonder why she's the most successful judo player the U.S. has ever seen. 2-time Olympic champion. Her record speaks for itself. Now 5-0. She's really now an MMA fighter, experienced MMA fighter. 5 fights, that's a lot of experience, the ability to stay cool, relax, and kind of see things as they come at you. Sky's the limit. I think she's going to win this tournament, this $1 million season, and then we'll see what's next.
The crazy thing with me for her, obviously we get a lot of parallels with Ronda, right? But the thing with me, when I see her fight and after the fight, it's like she doesn't ever seem happy. She's like, I could have done so much better. Like, how is that to deal with?
It's tough, man. She's like a perfectionist, big time. Her last fight she won a decision, her first decision. It was like 30-26 on some scorecards. Complete domination. But she was really broken up about it. Like the fact that she didn't finish this girl, and this girl had 3 or 4 times the experience, had a great record, 13-2, 13-3, 14-3, something like this. Only had lost to like UFC champions, like really high level girl, but she puts a lot of pressure on herself. I got a feeling it's going to always be like that. I don't think she'll ever be satisfied, no matter what happens. To be honest,
it's mindset of a champion, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's got her where she's at, so something's working.
Do she like spar with Amanda? Is that like?
They spar sometimes on occasion, but they don't spar a ton because like they've had different fight situations and different like opponents, so they weren't always the best for each other. And it's like Amanda will have a fight, then she's into Brazil, so they're not always at the gym at the same time. But 100%, anytime they get a chance to, they're trying to push each other and improve each other because. They're both top of the food chain. Amanda's the lead in the pack and the experienced one, and the women's GOAT right now, and just a really impressive girl to learn from. So she's a great role model for Kayla.
Man, like out here we live in Texas, and like they take Texas high school football like to the serious, and some of these upper echelon teams, they be so good, like the coaches be on them like, you got to practice hard because you ain't gonna get this competition in the game. Is that kind of how it is at ATT? You got to go hard and spar because you're not gonna get that type of looks in the actual fight because you usually fighting somebody better in sparring than you are in the actual fight.
Yeah, 100%. The room that they're training is the biggest battle. a lot of times you're sparring and training a hard like 6 rounds, 7 rounds. Then you go to the fight and it's 3 rounds or 5 rounds. It's not, and it's like half the fight. It's like the fight's the easy day. The training is it truly is the tough part. You're really getting put through the grinder. It's a bunch of world class. You got to actually be careful because on some days these athletes are in there like, destroying each other, man. You got to pull them back and, have them take it easy sometimes.
How hard is it to have I don't know the best way to ask this question, but how is it, having that balance of having such a large gym with so many high level athletes? Like, how do you find that perfect balance to, I guess, work it out to where everybody feels important, Well, we have an awesome team. It's a huge coaching staff. We have, maybe 12, 13, elite coaches, and it's a team effort, or we're all finding balance. It's, Conan Silvera, Steve Mako, Cattell Kubis, Steve Bruno, Dean Thomas, Macahone, Mikey Rod, Dia Davis. It's, I'm sure I'm missing a bunch, but we have a Marcos D'Amata. It's a monster coaching staff, many elite world-class coaches, all working together. When one coach is traveling for fights, there's 5, 6, 7, or 8, 9 coaches there picking up the slack. So it's a 100% team effort.
When you retired as a fighter in 2013, what do you think about seeing Uriah back in the cage as somebody who's actually shared the cage with him and basically was the first person to highlight reel knock him out? How does that kind of make you feel? It's like, man, this dude's still doing it.
No, that was impressive, man. I was a little concerned for him just being 40, he looked in great shape. I believe in his skills and stuff like that, but it's sometimes I feel with age, sometimes the durability and chin's not always there. And he even got hurt a little bit, but he stood in there, man, and he cracked him and knocked Simone silly, man. Huge win. Happy for the guy, man, and he's such a popular, charismatic guy. I wouldn't be surprised if he got a title shot.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing, right? He essentially pops off the couch, even though like we had him on the show a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about like he hasn't really left the gym, so he's like, I might as well compete, since I still have that itch. But it's kind of crazy. He can essentially come off the couch, and now everybody's talking about him potentially getting a title shot ahead of all these other guys that have been active.
Yeah, it's a business, man, and he's a star. He's a charismatic guy, and I think they want him there. And I'm sure he's been in the gym, all these years, helping, working, rolling, training with these guys. My only concern was his durability. I feel like with age, sometimes you lose durability. Sometimes a little bit of speed and reaction time. He's 40 years old, man, but he looks great, And Simone is no joke. This guy is top 15 in the world and great record and the whole 9 yards, And man, he hurt him, man. He looked great.
Yeah. So I guess as a coach, have you had to deal with, that tough conversation with the fighter yet? Being like, hey, it's time. Have you had that moment yet as a coach?
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's almost like you can guide a fighter, but it's at the end of the day, it's a personal decision because many people fight for many different reasons. Sometimes it's just the love. Sometimes it's they need the money. It has to be a decision they make at the end of the day on their own. You can't force them to not fight. You have to try to convince them that maybe that it's the best thing for them, maybe even, subconsciously or in a way, off the beaten path on a different kind of trail, but yeah, it happens. It's never it's hard to say when. I think the biggest problem is when somebody doesn't have something, they don't know what's next. If they have something to look forward to, another passion, another career, or whether it's coaching, whether it's running a gym, whether it's a coffee shop, whatever the hell they're doing, when you when you're retired from fighting, you're still pretty young. So you need something else, man, whether it's commentary or whatever, but you need to find what's next.
How much pride do you have the fact that y'all have all these champions and there's no crazy PED accusations or people coming up dirty 5 months later? Everybody's been clean at AT&T.
No, this is yeah. It's a different generation now too, man. This is like back in the day. I think things were different too with back pre-USADA. When there was a lot of people. Who knows how high the percentage was of dirty athletes. I think it used to be much higher, but I think things are really cleaned up. I think UFC did a good job. It's really looked down upon, man. If somebody finds out somebody's like dirty or on something, it's really a negative thing, man. Nobody wants to be that guy or female. So I think it's the culture, man. The culture, kind of sorts itself out. It's a real negative black eye.
100%. That's one of the biggest concerns. It's kind of crazy to see so many people on both sides of the issue. Where it's like some people are like, hey, if back in the day everybody was on it or half the people were on it, just let them do it, type thing. It's like, I would agree with that in other sports where you're not trying to violently hurt somebody, but
yeah.
It's one of those things that definitely needs to get cleaned up, and I agree with you. UFC's been doing a good job, but when you hear things like fighters are getting, like Uriah Faber, for example, like he got tested while his wife was giving birth, like come on, like is that necessary? Like it seems like they're kind of going overkill in some areas.
Well, I think it's 100% random. I'm assuming it's 100% random, and it was probably coincidence.
Yeah.
It's probably this is where he happened to be when they decided to make the move on him. But that's what they need. It needs to be random. If you know when it is, guys will try to like cycle and I'm not sure exactly, but figure out when they're going to be tested and kind of time things. But it needs to be random. They need to like show up at the gym or your house or whatever to make sure guys aren't trying to sneak things in there, and it seems to be working. But still, people are still getting busted in the UFC, so people are still trying to cheat the system. Blows my mind. I don't think it's possible. Maybe there's some crazy doctors out there that we don't know about.
So new Victor Contes.
Yeah, right. The cat game. Eventually, you're going to get busted. I feel like they always do.
Yeah, 100%. So, as a coach of such a large gym, I would imagine there's some names coming through the pipeline that
we can look at.
As people don't know just yet or haven't been paying too much attention to. So, as you're coaching your position at ATT, who is somebody that I guess the mainstream audience isn't paying attention to that we should focus on?
Yeah, so American Top Team Gyms.
Dude, we got a bunch of like young guns that are coming up big time. We got some undefeated young monsters. We got Johnny Eblin, who's a real stud. Danny Sabatello, Sydney Outlaw, Jordan Young. I don't know if he even, this kid's 11-0 in Bellator. I don't even know if he's a prospect anymore. This guy's here, But these are the younger guys that you might not know that are like the next generation that are on the edge of like getting some of those big fights and kind of breaking into the top 20 or that next level. But these are that's our younger talent. Kevin Seiler's another guy. He's fighting this weekend, this Tuesday on Contender Series. He's 8-0. We have a whole crop, a whole group of young guns that are scary dudes. These 25 and under crew, these are some scary dudes, the new breed, scary than ever.
How do y'all keep the peace at y'all gym? I know everybody gets along for the most part, but at the 170 pounds, you basically got 3 of the top 5, 4 if you count Tyron, all in the same area code fighting for one title. Like, how y'all keep that peace, man?
I'm not sure. Welterweight's getting scary, man. And really, it's the deepest weight class. Probably it's kind of right there in the middle. That's probably the average weight of most males. 180, 190, cut down to 170. It's really deep, dude. And we got it, man. We have so many elite welterweights. We just got to do the best we can. But we're just now finally starting to run into this crazy bottleneck where I mean, the only way I think somebody fights one another is for a title. That's it. That's a good problem to have, because it's going to be big money, hopefully millions of dollars, and good problem to have. We've come across it in the PFL tournament, tournament style, that can happen, but we try not to fight each other, man. I myself want to think of the guy that I'm helping here isn't a future competitor. I want him to show me everything he's got. I want to help him as much as I can. But if the potential to fight is there, you're not going to help him, quite as much. You're going to hold back on some of your little tricks or secrets. You want to be able to share everything. So we don't want to fight one another unless it's for a title, very big money. And but shit, this is the welterweight division. We're getting close. You got Masvidal, you got Colby, you got
Bobby.
Ponzinibbio, you got Woodley, you got Tony Martin is close to the top 15 also. It's Thiago Alves, former UFC title
Contender.
runner-up, contender, whatever you call it, fought GSP at UFC 100 for the belt. This guy's a super stud, been there forever. Welterweight, we run deep, man.
So can you give us any insight? Was that really legitimately true that Robbie left American Top Team because of a picture?
I mean, I don't know if it was for a picture. No, I think I'm not sure. I'm sure it was complex for Robbie. I don't know all the details, and that's for him to that's for him to talk about. I'm not certain. He's a great dude. I consider him a friend, and I don't know all the details on why he left, honestly.
Okay, fair enough. One last thing for me, when you see a fighter like Aspen Ladd and how she looked on the scale, I know you've been in the wrestling world essentially, right? Where weight cutting is it's part of the culture. But when you see things like that happen, to where a fighter's shaking bad, and then of course you're going to get into a cage and you're going to fight another human being 24 hours from then. What do you do to combat that, to where it's not such a big issue like that, to where fighters can just, hey, I'm gonna get on the scale on the way in, and I'm gonna be healthy, and I'm gonna be able to compete at the highest level?
I actually didn't see her get on the scale, but I did hear they were talking about that. Was that the case?
It was bad. It was bad. Yeah. She was trembling. You know how you weigh in, and Heidi Dean's back there. Give me 5 seconds, baby, before you step off. She was literally trembling. It was bad.
No, I think this is terrible for you. I think, and the biggest thing, I think it affects your durability. I think it affects your ability to take a punch. I've thought this for a long time, and we see it time and time again. That's probably what happened. It wasn't a huge shot, that put her down. That's probably a major factor in what happened. You got to get your weight under control. Maybe either move up or get lighter, lose muscle mass, lose body fat, whatever you got to do. You're too big. Preferably go up. Tons. There's been a handful of athletes that we've had, all having great success moving up in weight. Dustin Poirier, now fighting for the. He's the champ right now, interim champ, going to fight Khabib for unification. Masvidal was also 55 for a long time, doing great at welterweight. Tony Martin bumped up, he's doing great. Kyoji Horiguchi, he's now the Bellator 135-pound champ.
Yes,
knocking dudes out left and right.
Beast. He's an
I think that's the move. If you're struggling, move up. You're a great fighter because you're great at fighting, not because you're cutting a bunch of weight.
Thank you. Preach.
Yeah,
Coach Brown got common sense. I'm first team common sense over here, so I co-sign what you just said.
Yeah, right. I mean, the big thing is durability. I think you see it, and then also you're not progressing, you're not learning when you're constantly thinking. You're depriving yourself of calories. Your brain's not working properly. You're not picking up new ideas and new techniques. You're thinking about, I got to run after this practice, or I got to jump on the elliptical or treadmill, or whatever. You're not thinking about, I'm trying to get better in practice. It's not a good mindset, and it's not a good way to be taking on things here.
And final question before we let you go. How do you top what y'all just did in 2018, what you done personally? How do you take it to another level the back end of this year and going on to next year? How do y'all top that? It's like, it's damn near impossible.
Dude, the thing is, we've been with these athletes now for a while, and they're all coming into their prime. ATT is like really coming into its prime, and our group of core athletes are just, I think, hitting their stride. And honestly, I think it's just beginning. Wow. I think these monsters are all just beginning to peak, and I think it's only getting bigger, honestly.
Beautiful. Yeah. Are you going to be on San Antonio next week?
I'll be there.
Beautiful.
Andre Arlovsky.
Yes.
My man.
Yes. Yeah. That's right. I'll be there too, man. So I'll try to link up with you, around fights and all that good stuff. So. Please
do. Yeah, let's see. Andre Arlovsky, super athlete, man. He's a little man trapped into this giant body, man. This guy's an athlete.
Yes. I appreciate it, Mike. And I'll be at Pacquiao Thurman, so I'll be on the West Coast. I won't be there.
Man,
we
awesome.
we double team over here. We talk about MMA and boxing.
Good stuff, man. Awesome. I'd love to see it. Now, I've never been to like a real big high profile boxing fight, and I want to someday.
You didn't go to Mayweather McGregor? They ain't give you no tickets?
No, man. I gotta go get that experience, man. I bet it's cool.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, it's different. There's a lot of similarities between the high-profile UFCs, but there's a different feel with boxing. There's a little bit different feel.
Yeah, I'm a fan, but I just haven't been to one of those big ones. I'd like to go.
For sure, man. For sure. Well, Mike, thanks for coming on, man. I look forward to seeing you in San Antonio next week, and we appreciate the time, as always, man. And congrats once again on Coach of the Year.
Well deserved.
Guys, we'll see you later, man. Love what you do.
Appreciate it.
Please welcome back to the Slip and Dip podcast, one of the best flyweight fighters on the planet today, Mr. Jose Shorty Torres. What's going on, my man?
Man, I'm still alive, enjoying Sunday, and getting ready for Monday wrestling. Monday at ATT is easily the hardest day out of the week. It is the most dreadful day, so everyone has to mentally prepare for it. So that's what I'm trying to do right now.
Man, so we just got off the horn with your man Mike Brown over there. So.
He's an amazing coach. Again, Coach of the Year, working with Joanna, Kyoji Horiguchi. You see what he's been able to do. And even I train with Kyoji all the time. Just what Mike Brown says during the rounds, I'm like, don't listen to him, Kyoji. You don't have to listen to him. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because he's so clever with some of the stuff he says and sees in the ring and in the cage. It really is impressive, man. Mike Brown's an amazing coach.
100%.
I hear you be training a little bit too.
Yeah, man, I'm always trying to stay ready, trying to figure out what's next for me with Brave when the next fight is. But, I just been down here for a month training, helping Kyoji, helping a few of the female fighters. Jalen Robertson's the biggest female fighter I really work with most of the time. But I help whoever needs help, man. And that's usually me. Even if I don't have a fight planned, I try to be down here. Definitely not at home in Chicago. Chicago's a little too violent sometimes. And, for me, definitely with the food, man, I got to get away. Me being here, whatever food I have is usually good food and kind of forces me to stay clean and eat healthy.
So how frustrating has it been, man? Because it's been a couple of months since you hadn't had anything announced. So it's just like...
Yeah, man. I'm waiting. That was one of the things that... Yeah, I've been talking to Brave. They've been so busy. They have an event coming up next week in London, which is going to be their biggest MMA event so far. But, I thought I was scheduled to fight in August. Things just didn't work out as planned. I know something's going to come up soon for me, just not as soon as I'd like. For me, it seems like I might be fighting twice this year instead of 3 times. That's a bummer for me. I like to stay as active as possible. I'm 26 years old. I want to be on my toes, ready and going. But keeping me locked up in a cage sometimes isn't the best thing.
we both know you're a purist and you're a fan of the sport. You watch all promotions, UFC, Bellator, and all that.
Yeah,
what's your take on what you've seen Henry Cejudo does? Somebody that you could possibly see one of these days, even if it's 4 or 5 years from now, in the cage, and what he's accomplished with the champ in the Triple C action.
It's funny. I got my own YouTube series called Inside Team Shorty. You guys ever want to check it out? But I actually brought up Henry Cejudo in my last 2 videos. One of them was just the king of cringe, just a different personality, kind of comparing him to Ronda Rousey, how Ronda was the humble queen, and out of nowhere she started winning, and she got real arrogant and real rude, and you're like, whoa, what happened? Then when she fought Holly Holm, she immediately became the bad guy, and you're like, whoa, you were the nicest person in the world. What happened? It's the same thing with Cejudo. You saw Cejudo going against Benavidez in the house, and he was like, oh, Benavidez, you got to be a role model. You got to do this for the kids. You got to do that for the kids. And then now you see today, he's a king of cringe. It's like, whoa, what happened? Oh, man, you got a belt. Oh, now you got 2. Oh, you're triple C. Oh, now you can do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. Call these people this, call these people that. I don't respect that. I respect Henry Cejudo. I think he's an amazing athlete. I mean, again, being able to do what he did against DJ the second time, even though I believe DJ won, just to be able to last that long and make it to a split decision is amazing. After getting demolished in the first round in their first fight is a huge thing. That's how talented Cejudo is. But I'm not a fan of the King of Cringe, but man, it is impressive to see what he's doing. I'm just wondering who he's going to fight next, Joseph Benavidez or Aljamain Sterling.
Tell me this, me and my co-hosts always go back and forth. Why do people think you have to have some crazy story? Why can't you just whoop these people he just got on his resume and go on about your business and have a little personality? Kind of like Jorge Masvidal. It's like now all of a sudden he's a street fighter. Like a lot of people just found out in the last week or so. It's like he been had that story, but what you remember is them hands behind the back of that cage and that knee upside the head. It don't matter that he was a street fighter and fought with Kimbo Slice and all that. Nobody care about that. All you remember is that KO. It's gonna speak for itself if you that guy. Your talent gonna speak for itself, right? You don't need no story.
You see, me, I'm more I disagree. I like how you put it. Disagree. I'm a huge boxing fan, and my favorite fighter is Manny Pacquiao. He is completely opposite of Floyd Mayweather. But the thing was, you knew Floyd Mayweather before he was Money Mayweather. You knew him when he was Pretty Boy Floyd. Why? Because of his skill. He was dope. He did his stuff. And then he started talking smack, and then you knew him already. And that's kind of what Cejudo is trying to do, and I get it. But it's one of those things that Manny Pacquiao, for me, he's never had to talk smack. And look at his resume. 8-division world champ, creating history. He's done stuff no one has ever done. He's still fighting at the age of 40, pretty much.
I will be there next Saturday, in fact. I'll see him I'm leaving Tuesday for Vegas. I'll be there Saturday, ringside.
That's something I'm literally like, sorry guys, can't hang out. I'm watching the Thurman Pacquiao fight. Like, I have to. But for me, it's one of those things that, like, Pacquiao's humble. He's just doing his thing, and he's letting his hands, his actions speak for himself. He's not having to do this and do that, and he's one of the most popular fighters in the world because he does that. I think Cejudo easily would have been the same if he wasn't talking. Now it's more of here. Let me put it into this perspective. There's the just the humble guy, the Manny Pacquiao, that just whatever he wants to do, he's still going to be noticed. Or there's the Colby Covington, Conor McGregor, which obviously are like the two most famous guys right now about talking smack and this and that. And Colby Covington, I think, is more of a show, more of a WWE persona. Because he really is a nice guy. Dude, I talk to him every day. He's like the nicest guy in the world.
Everybody says that about him. Dean Thomas says the same thing. He's like, you invite him to a barbecue, you wouldn't know that's that guy you see on camera.
It's funny because I remember talking to him and all these camera guys. We had like a media day at ATT. He comes up to me. He's like, oh, what's up, Shorty? Can't wait to your next fight, blah, blah, blah. And then, I don't know, he turns face to camera. Kamaru Usman, snooze, man, blah, blah. I'm just like, oh, snap. Like, this is a whole different, like, dude, it sounded like a script. And I was just like, I'm laughing on the side. I'm like, this is impressive. But then you got Cejudo. There's not the good, there's bad. It's just kind of like annoying. The king of cringe, where it's like, I don't even want to watch you fight. The other two, you're either that cool where like you don't even have to say anything, I'm gonna watch you fight, or you're that bad where I hate you, so I want you to lose, so I'm gonna watch your fight to see you get knocked out. But the king of cringe is like, I can't really side with it because it's not cool, nor is it the bad guy. It's just like you're that awkward kid in the back of the fight, trying to get to the front, and be like, hey, what's up, guys? So I don't know, man. I think it is a persona, but it also kind of seems like the real him, which is, in a sense, real shady to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's not the role model he said he wanted to be, so that's just.
And he's also another one, kind of like Kobe, like where you see him, with the cameras off. He's super cool. Like I've interacted with him a couple times, just like hanging out. Like when we're in the back in the media room at a fight night, he'll just come up and strike up a conversation. Like I was sitting up, like trying to, edit some stuff on the computer or whatever, and he'll just come sit next to you, start talking, like, oh, that's the champ right here. Just pull up and pull the chair, But then again, like he's starting, like you said, he's starting.
Has a crazy story too.
Yeah, of course.
But like Masvidal, again, like Pacquiao and all these guys, Floyd Mayweather, they had tough upbringings. Fucking Cejudo's a Latino coming up with so many siblings, all this stuff, coming into wrestling, the first ever, U.S. gold medalist, and this and that. Like his resume should speak for himself. Him trying to be this this king of cringe is not the role model he initially intended to be. It's kind of like that Dark Knight phrase. It's like you're the good guy for so long until eventually you become the villain. I'm not quoting verbatim, but that's pretty much what he's doing. He's becoming Two-Face, and it's like, whoa, what happened, man? I know you got 2 belts. I know you're Triple C. No one's ever going to deny it. I can never bash that about you. But the personality, the persona that you're trying to put out there, if I had kids, I wouldn't want them to watch you fight and have these interviews with you. I think that's it's just a bad influence.
So, in my answer, what's your ethnicity?
So I'm Mexican, Puerto Rican, but I was born in the States.
Gotcha.
I'm first generation.
Do you think that they're missing, the UFC's missing a mark on somebody like you say? Like, people don't really talk about Henry being Latino. They do a little bit, but it's not like they do like with your Rodriguez. They don't hype it up. They don't hype up that George and Yoel's Cuban. I didn't even say he's a Cuban. He was on a Cuban wrestling team. But how can you think the UFC's missing the mark on that Latino market? And they like thinking, okay, we're gonna have a big card in Mexico City, and that's gonna get these people to start watching all of a sudden, and they don't push y'all like in between fights and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was a bad thing, and that's something I talked about in one of my videos too. It's like when DJ was champ, I think he was only main event for his title fights. He had 12 title fights total, 11 of them defended. I think he had maybe 3, as a main event. The rest of them were co-main event. Even his history-making fights were co-main events. But the only other main event in flyweight history at the time was Sergio Pettis and Brandon Moreno, and that was in Mexico City. So they tried to take advantage of it. And Sergio Pettis won, which was awesome. But 1, Sergio Pettis doesn't speak Spanish, which is a downfall in Mexico. And 2, Brandon Moreno, the upcoming Mexico fighter that was the underdog in almost every single fight, winning, he lost. So it kind of bashed everything. Joseph Benavidez doesn't speak Spanish. I know Henry Cejudo does, but again, it's the personality. It's the UFC can only do so much, and it seems like they're trying to promote Henry Cejudo. I think he is right now reviving, if you want to say, or if not postponing the demise of the flyweight division, because you still only have 12 guys in the division. They're slowly bringing some guys from 35 back down to 25. I don't know if they're re-signing people. Joanna was telling me the other day that they're just signed 2 more guys, which, hey, if they're reviving it, that's amazing. But for the guys who got cut and trying to come back, one, it's kind of like being cheated on. Do you want to go back to a relationship that you got cheated on? And he's like, or she's like, I'm not going to do it again. But all the signs are showing she's going to do it again. It's like,
what's she going to get more money, though? What's she double that money, though?
If they want to double that money. Me, dude, I had the biggest resume. I had the biggest resume in flyweight history when I got signed. Yeah. I got signed to the basic contract at a 9-day notice, 26 pounds to lose. And then they forced me, and that's in one of my videos, they forced me to fight again in 20-day notice where I had to lose another 28 pounds. I had 45 days to lose 54 pounds. 100% I'm going to lose. Dude, that Monday, I broke down mentally where I was like, I don't care. I'm going to be 3-1 in the UFC. And then they didn't give me a chance to finish my contract. Then eventually they started cutting everything else. Once you lost, you were cut. They didn't go, hey, we're going to let you finish your contract. The only guy they let finish their contract is the butt buddies, the guys who were cool with McMahon, or the guys who were cool with the matchmakers. Hey, I know you. I like you. Cool. You can bump up. How is Louis Smoker going to lose 4 straight in a row, all dominant losses too, have 3 fights in Hawaii just, in small promotions and get called right back in for a last-minute fight to get bumped up? It's because you know somebody, because you're cool with somebody. Hey, that's awesome, but this game is political, and the whole flyweight thing, it sucks, because we're small guys. We have no choice but to be small guys. That's just our genetics, and we're being treated like crap. And even though Cejudo's changing the game, he's reviving a little bit. I think that's awesome. It's still not the what happens if Cejudo loses, and then we have another champ that isn't as entertaining for like DJ, which I think he was the most entertaining champion out there. Flying arm bars is amazing. Suplex arm bars is amazing, but it's just one of those things that it can happen again, and that's the sad thing.
100%. Yeah, man, it's there's a lot of crazy things going on in this game, man. A lot of crazy things going on, and it's kind of weird, the whole thing with the flyweight division, because it does produce a lot of like the most exciting fights, and it's really unfortunate, like the way like you finally like you were on that campaign. I remember like, hey, I should be on this stage. I should be on there. And then finally you get there and it's like, okay, we're trying to shut this thing down somewhat. Like you said, for some people, it was like, okay, we're going to usher you out as soon as we get the opportunity to, which is crazy.
It's amazing because when they told me, they go, hey, you fight, because I had both Alex Perez and Jared Brooks back out of fights with me because I was called 9 times total for the UFC in like 2-year gap. And I was called in 2018 twice, last minute notices. I was going to do Dana White's looking for a fight, but I had to pull out because of injury. That's when Eli Garcia fought, and he was able to get called up, which was amazing for him. And I trained with him. That guy's jiu-jitsu is amazing. But it was one of those things that I finally got the call. They're like, hey, 9-day notice. Can you do it? I'm like, this is stupid. I'm not going to do that. Like, they go, that's all we're going to give you is last minute notices. We're not going to call you for an actual fight. And the only one we want to sign. We're not looking at any other people because we're not really interested in the division. That was already when DJ was supposed to fight TJ, and DJ was saying no. So Dana White's like, man, we're going to cut it. I don't like the division, blah, blah. So there was a lot of threats there. So I talked to my nutritionist. I said, yeah, cool, let's take it. But it's just one of those things, knowing in your head that all they're going to give me is 10-day or less notices. Yeah. And then even with that 20-day notice, dude, I just already lost 26 pounds. I'm a flyweight. That's technically around quarter of my weight, so I shouldn't be doing that. And I won. Cool. Wasn't the best win in the world, accidental KO, whatever you want to call it. But they didn't take advantage of hyping me up. Again, I had the biggest resume. I did amazing things in Titan that no one's ever done before. Still hasn't done now. And they didn't care. So again, it's one of those things of like, if they called me back right now, from what I know, it's just one of those things that I would play it safe and be like, you know what, let me see how well this flyweight division is building up, and then maybe we can go from there. Because I'm not trying to play it the same exact game twice.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously not the only game in town anymore. There's a lot of other promotions out there. Like, you're with Brave now. So how's it been with them, and how have they been treating you?
Yeah, man, they've been treating me well. I mean, you were talking about the pay. Dude, I'm getting paid double in Brave than I was in the UFC. And that's the biggest thing is a lot of people are, UFC, you're going to make a lot of money. You're only going to make a lot of money in UFC long term. The only problem is, can you make it long term? Me, I was only in the UFC technically around 6 months, so I didn't make it long term. I wasn't making any money. I got signed for the basic contract, which I definitely shouldn't have even agreed to. That was my bad of being just young and arrogant and going, I want to be in the UFC, I want to be in the UFC, and I finally did it. But it's just one of those things. If you can make it long term, then hey, it can be great for you. But if you can't, then so be it. So for me, you look at Brave. Brave is extremely well. Look at One creating the tournament, slowly, eventually coming to the U.S. I think that's amazing for them. And so many different places: Pancrase, KSW, Ryzen. Ryzen's doing some really, really big things. Signing some UFC vets. Justice Goggins fought over there. So it's a other promotions are taking advantage of this right now. I'm surprised Bellator hasn't taken advantage of it yet.
Man, you sound like a promoter, man. You like just dropping them off left and right. You have to be a smart fighter for this. And it's, again, it's just one of those things, experiences. Because when I went to the UFC, man, I thought I was like, oh, cool, I'm set, whatever. But I was arrogant. I just wanted to do it because everyone grows up going UFC, UFC, UFC. Which shout out to Uriah Faber because he's one of my role models that I wanted to fight against eventually, because I was like, yeah, if he's doing it, I can do it too. But then you finally get the offer, and dude, all of them were so demoralizing to me to either say no because I had a broken hand or a bad knee or whatever the case may be. Finally, I was like, fine, let's do it. Took it. Wasn't the best opportunity, but it was just one of those things. It's like, it really was a bad relationship, but it was a learning opportunity to go, all right, if this does in a sense happen again, let me play under my terms. And that's something I have the leverage on right now. So, I want to do what DJ's doing right now. I want to prove that I am one of the best in the world. He goes, why win the UFC belt when I had it 12 times? He goes, let me go somewhere else and be the best in the world somewhere else. Let me win the ONE FC belt. And then maybe go to a different division or a different promotion, win their belt, and show that I am one of the best in the world. That's something I want to do. I won Titan FC twice. I won the World Championships twice as an amateur. I'm at Brave right now. I want to do both weight classes eventually and slowly maybe go to a different promotion and see where it goes from there. But time will tell. I'm 26 and I have nothing but time to give. Final question for me. Would you ever go back to the UFC? And how big do you think One would be if they ever come to America? I'm one that didn't watch it until DJ and them went over there. And I tripped out. I was like, point fighters, like, what the fuck is a point fighter? They just go for broke. I'm all about that. Like, even DJ, when he won, the dude came to fight. He like, I might get finished, but I ain't coming in for this to go to decision. My guy tells me, it's like, you're saying like basically like the elite, like crazy stuff. Hey, they got me hooked on that. It's like, what's that? We don't need no judges. We don't decide this. They just take all kinds of crazy ass chances. I think that would catch on over America if that style was the norm.
Yeah, man, for me, Brave is treating me really well. I definitely want to stay with them for a few years, but time will tell. I'm 26. You never know what could happen. You never know what Brave. They're still a very brand new promotion trying to come up. I'm really hoping to be the spokesperson to really bring them up to a whole nother level, and we'll see. I want to win 2 belts from there, and just see where life takes me. But if that opportunity did come to play, I want to see where the flyweight division has evolved and has grown, and is the UFC promoting them? Because again, you had the best champion in the UFC's history, but he wasn't popular. Why not? It's not because of him. He's doing suplexes and arm bars. He's tapping people out literally with 1 second left in a fight. Kyoji Horiguchi, one of the best fighters ranked in the world right now. And you say it's not entertaining? No. It's half and half. He's promoting himself. You got to promote him too. Because he's not a main event, it's not his fault. It's your fault. The UFC, mainly for the average fan, and this is for everybody. Obviously, you guys are educated. This is your podcast. If I tell you something about a fighter, you're going to be like, no. This fighter, this is his real stats, this is this, and this is that. But if I go, oh, man, DJ, he's not, if I'm Dana White, oh, DJ's not entertaining, he sucks, whatever, he's a small guy. Everyone else, average fan that only watch the main events, they'll be like, who the hell is DJ? I don't know this guy. Man, yeah, you're right. He does suck because I've never seen him before. It's like, that's the UFC's fault. So, that's just me, man. So time will tell, but I'm just excited to see what's next. I just want to win 2 belts and keep on doing my thing, but I'm just excited to get in another fight. You had a second question.
Would you ever go back to the UFC like in the near future, next 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, again, time will tell. It just depends if they're promoting them. And if my Brave contract has come to an end and I'm not happy with them, then maybe I go somewhere else. But until then, I want to see if the UFC is improving, because right now, after the buyout, they're all about money right now. And I get it. They're trying to make their money back. That's cool. But it's all about these super fights. CM Punk having his pro debut, not just a UFC debut, pro debut, making $500,000. What? I think I could be wrong, and I think I am wrong. But that same card CM Punk was on, Joseph Benavidez and Sergio Pettis were on that card. They were, I think, 2 and 3 at the time. They fought not on the prelims, but on the UFC Fight Pass prelims. But then you have CM Punk in the main card. Oh, what? Who?
Yeah.
Against who? So it's just one of those things that, it's all a money game. Oh, we're going to have Brock Lesnar back for a title fight, even though he got busted on steroids against Mark Hunt. But we're going to have him back anyways because he brings tickets and he brings views. It's like, all right, I don't know if I want that. I want a promotion ran by fighters, and honestly, that's what Brave is. It's ran by former fighters.
Yeah, that's what makes it beautiful, man. Well, Jose, man, thanks for coming on the show, man. We appreciate the time. Hopefully somebody steps up to the plate and gives you a challenge soon. Hashtag don't be scared.
No, I just want to say I've been tagged by everybody. It's Brave's job to give me a fight and obviously make the money worth it, make the event worth it, and we'll see what happens next. But I appreciate the love and time, guys, and just thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.